Get some analysis from the director of Eurasia Democracy Initiative, Peter Zalmayev, joins me now from Kiev. Hi there, Peter. This buildup of Russian troops on the border with Ukraine has really been happening for quite a few weeks now, and also the second time we've seen such a large buildup this past year. Do you think we're getting closer to seeing real military aggression and conflict taking place between these two countries?
Well, it's a million-dollar question, and Western experts, military experts, Pentagon officials are saying, on the one hand, that the escalation we're currently seeing is quite a bit different from the one we saw in April. First of all, because there's lethal weaponry being pulled towards the border, but also, secondly, we are seeing the opening of a potential, third front from the Belarusian side, considering that Belarus is essentially becoming Russia's protectorate. It's being directed by Moscow, as I believe, to instigate this migrants crisis on the border with Poland, etc. So Ukraine is feeling besieged, and rightly so. Well, on the other hand, whether Putin will make that decision and whether he will invade and how much of a territory he plans to occupy, that's a big question. It is clear that Russia will probably be able to achieve a quick tactical victory, but to be able to hold a significant chunk of territory is probably beyond Russia's capacity. And let me just say that I was a little surprised by your Dasha Chernyshova, your correspondent's message previous to mine. She sounded like pretty much an apologist for the Russian government, clearly just stating Russia's talking points without providing an alternative. And I think the alternative and the truth, I think, that needs to be known here is that unless Russia started its belligerent actions, it started essentially its war against Ukraine back in 2014 with the annexation of Crimea, with the instigation of hostilities in the Donbass, we would not be even here, and Ukraine would not be feeling so insecure as to call for NATO to issue Ukraine an invitation to join in the first place.
So, Peter, Jens Stoltenberg saying that Russian military buildup is unprovoked. He says there'll be a high price to pay if Moscow uses force against Kiev. When he talks about this high price, what could that look like?
Well, obviously, a high price probably does not extend to a full military, response by NATO. NATO does have this chapter of collective security. It extends only to current members. It does not extend to Ukraine. That is one thing to know. I'm very doubtful that NATO would respond militarily in any significant fashion, simply because it would probably be a full-blown war with Russia, and it could lead to a nuclear confrontation. No one wants to contemplate that, obviously. So that's part of the reason the ministers are meeting. NATO ministers are meeting in Latvia, is in order to discuss, to go over some of the potential tools at their disposal. I think we're once again talking about sanctions against Vladimir Putin personally, against some of his members of his team. And when we talk about a significant measure that would be in response to an invasion, cutting Russia off from the SWIFT payment system, something that's been talked about for many years, something that Putin has called a nuclear option against him. That is probably something to be that is being considered. And also, currently, we're seeing a massing of NATO troops in the Black Sea region, as well as fortifying its eastern borders in order to send a signal to Vladimir Putin to hold off any plans of invasion.
Peter Zalmayev, appreciate your analysis, speaking to us there from Kiev. Thank you so much.